MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. Billings firefighters called out on this hot afternoon to a fire in the Heights that caused heavy damage to an apartment building. That call coming in around 2:45 that smoke and flames could be seen coming from the fourplex apartment homes at 50 Miners Place. Firefighters had reports that people were still trapped inside the building, but two separate searches found no one still inside. Battalion Chief Jason Lyons says there were two unconfirmed reports of injuries from the fire. One report claimed a person was transported to a local hospital via ambulance before firefighters arrived. Another unconfirmed report said another bystander may have received injuries from running into the fire to try and get others out. Firefighters have made contact so far with 3 of the 4 residents of the apartment building. There's no word yet what caused that fire. Well, COVID-19 cases remain on the rise tonight as the state saw 274 new cases, while Yellowstone County reported 2 more deaths, bringing the county's death toll to 285. Experts say the only way to get this under control is to get more people vaccinated. But as our Casey Conlon found out, that's easier said than done right now.
The COVID-19 vaccine continues to be one of the most divisive topics in our community today. For example, last Friday at Riverstone Health's vaccine clinic, they had almost 50 people show up. Today, they held a free vaccine clinic at MSUB's City College during orientation, and it was a very different story.
We are having a COVID vaccination clinic right now.
Today was MSUB's 5th clinic of the summer and its worst as far as attendance. 4 Riverstone health workers, 2 hours, 0 patients. Even with the recent rise in COVID-19 positives again, today's example has been more the norm.
They've been somewhat successful, not as successful as we had hoped. The beginning of the summer, the numbers were up a little bit. We were seeing, 20s, 25s, 30 people. The numbers are down now.
Things are even tougher for healthcare workers on campus.
We've met a little bit of vaccine hesitancy, so we're trying to combat that by giving the best information possible.
Montana's Office of the Commissioner of Higher Education abolished the university's mask mandate in May and is very strict about what campus healthcare workers are allowed to ask, and more specifically, not ask students. Jessie Reddick is doing everything she can.
So now's a great time to go ahead and get that so that when you get here in the fall, you are ready to go.
Her latest idea? Symptom management bags to combat the #1 vaccine hesitancy issue she hears.
They're worried about how am I going to feel after I get the shot. And so in each bag, you'll find that there, of course, is a water as well as kind of more of a hydration kind of put together. So we've got tea as well as Propel. And they also will get $20 in Town Pump gift cards for getting their shot.
It was one of Montana's early vaccine incentives. Reddick says MSUB has also applied for a campus COVID vaccine initiative grant to fund social media campaigns, student talks, and research materials. But that's just a waiting game for now, like most of her efforts.
There has been a lot of expression that they would prefer to get it the day before classes start. Another thing to check off to make sure that they're ready to go for college.
As for the greater community, with Yellowstone County still sitting at a 40% vaccination rate, Riverstone worries they've done all they can.
People who have decided not to get the vaccine are not coming.
Casey Conlon, MTN News.
Thanks, Casey. Riverstone has a number of free COVID vaccine clinics set to come this week, with all available to the general public. The first will be held tomorrow at MSUB's Petra Theater from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Well, Huntley Project Schools will have one in the evening. That's tomorrow from 4 until 6. Our Savior Lutheran Church in Laurel's holding a clinic on Wednesday, August 4th. And on Friday, August 6th, there will be one at Sky Point during the Art Walk. One of the top Republicans in the state Senate was in court today in Townsend, where he pleaded guilty to obstructing a peace officer in connection with a traffic stop in May. MTN's Mike Dennison was in the courtroom and files this report.
State Senator Jason Ellsworth of Hamilton was clocked at 88 miles an hour on the highway between Townsend and Helena on the night of May 23rd. But it's what he did after the highway patrol officer stopped him that led to the charge he pleaded guilty to on Monday. According to State Trooper Mackenzie Gifford, Ellsworth got out of his vehicle, walked toward her car, and started citing the state constitution, saying he was immune from arrest because he was a state legislator en route to official business. The charging document said she told Ellsworth several times to get back in his vehicle, which he eventually did. In Broadwater County Justice Court Monday, Ellsworth told Justice of the Peace Kirk Flynn he should not have gotten out of his car.
I got out of my car to have a conversation with the officer. Certainly that was not appropriate in any way, shape, or form.
As part of a plea deal with Broadwater County Attorney Corey Swanson, the speeding charges were dropped Monday, and Ellsworth paid a $350 fine and $85 in court fees. Ellsworth also got a one-year deferred sentence, which means if he violates no laws during that time, the charge will be removed from his record. In an interview with MTN News late last week, Ellsworth said the traffic stop came at the end of a long day on a personal level.
I was having a long, difficult day, having to deal with a medical issue, and that was substantially on my mind. That's not an excuse, and I'm taking full responsibility for my actions.
Ellsworth is the president pro tem of the state Senate and has been a GOP point man on many major issues before the 2021 legislature. The state constitution does exempt lawmakers from arrest during sessions of the legislature, but the regular session ended on April 29th. Ellsworth was traveling from Bozeman to Helena for an interim legislative committee on May 24th, the day after his traffic stop. Reporting from Townsend, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Ellsworth was elected to the state Senate in 2018 in a district representing Ravalli County in southwest Montana. All right, time to take a quick look at the weather with Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh. Ed, it felt like the wildfire season got off to an earlier start this year, and now you've got proof of that.
That's right. We're starting to see more air quality issues here in southern Montana. This afternoon, Billings moved up into the unhealthy air quality, along with areas of Powder River County, southern Rosebud County, down towards Sheridan. Not really surprising when you see the air that's out there. Now, here's where the smoke was early in July, and just watch how it develops as the fires start to break loose. As we get towards the middle of the month, Idaho and western Montana will start to see those fires develop, and then you'll really see the smoke start to move across the eastern plains. There you go. We'll start to see it pretty much more constant, and even when we had a shift in the winds, it just pushed the smoke down for British Columbia. So from starting off with virtually no smoke around the 4th of July, here's how things start to look as we start getting towards the end of July, and that smoke just continues to spill in anywhere from Northern California to our own fires across Montana and Wyoming. We'll take a closer look at the forecast details coming up in just a few minutes.
The Poverty Flats fire has grown to more than 67,000 acres. However, that fire that started last Tuesday afternoon is now 60% contained. The fire continues to burn east of the Bighorn River near Hardin on the Crow Indian Reservation. Crews continue to strengthen and improve the fire line. Firefighters remain stationed in the community of Dunmore. The cause is from an underground coal seam, we're told. Meanwhile, evacuations and road closures remain in effect at this hour on the Boulder 2700 fire, which is burning in the Mission Mountains near Flathead Lake. That fire, which is listed as human-caused, has already destroyed as many as 20 structures and is threatening several more. A Type 2 Northern Rockies management team has now taken over the blaze with more than 100 firefighters battling the flames. Evacuation orders remain in place for residents along Highway 35 from mile markers 6 to 13, including all of Finley Point. Tonight, that fire currently sits at just over 1,100 acres burned with 0% containment. Montana's early fire season has kept wildland firefighters constantly busy. MTN's John Riley gives us a look at where the state's outlook on the fire season is so far and where resources currently sit.
So far this year, Montana has seen more than 400 wildland fires, burning more than 219,000 acres across the state. Montana DNRC says the unusually early fire season has been rough, with new significant fire starts reported almost daily.
We've been fighting fire pretty heavily in the Northern Rockies and across Montana for the last 6 or 7 weeks. Generally, we don't get into that busy of a season till now, so we're already, 6 weeks ahead of schedule on people being tired, being fatigued, and just worn out. And the public probably getting tired of it as well, seeing this smoke every day.
Montana entered the fiscal year with a fire suppression fund at its statutory maximum of roughly $105 million. Since July 1st, the beginning of the state's fiscal year, Montana has spent $19.4 million in fire suppression costs, ranging from boots on the ground to large air tankers. Although the state has the money to cover costs, there are requests that have gone unfilled, while agencies and teams prioritize sending resources where they're needed most. Their primary goal, as always, to keep people safe.
We're having such rapid fire growth. Keeping people safe is a high concern, whether that's getting public out of the way of these rapidly moving fires, or just keeping our firefighters who are out on the ground, keeping them safe in safe places to fight fire.
Dean Narcisse says the hope is that they'll be able to catch their breath this week thanks to some predicted cool and rainy weather. However, it's only the beginning of August, and there's still a lot more fire season left in Montana. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Houston says the best way people can help Montana firefighters right now is to be extra careful to not start a fire and to report any fires they see. Also today, Montana Governor Greg Gianforte launched a new dashboard to help keep Montanans informed on all the active fires burning in the state. That new dashboard can be found at mtfireinfo.org. So far, there are 88 active